Hello and welcome back to MidCat's COVID-19 Weekly India Analysis. I'm Nikita Kohli, a geopolitical intelligence analyst at MidCat Advisory Services, and I'm back to discuss the COVID-19 numbers of India with you. I will be using the numbers of 10th of September 2020, which are being flashed on your screen. As you can see, we're nearing 4.5 million cases in India, and it's a good time to take stock of where we are at and what's happening, and how come we have now reached the position that we have globally and the number of cases that's increasing. As always, I will be looking at the analysis at the nationwide level, which will look at the macro level analysis before moving down to the state wise and then a city wise analysis to clearly understand where are the cases increasing and how should we deal with it. Moving headlong into the nationwide analysis, we see that the number of confirmed COVID 19 cases in India is now reaching 4.5 million. With this increase in cases, India has now overtaken Brazil to become the country with the second largest number of COVID 19 infections in the world. Only the US, with 6.5 billion cases at the moment, is ahead of India. But as we are seeing the increase in the COVID 19 cases, we're also seeing a higher number of recoveries. That has led to India having only about 20% active case load. As you can see from figure 1, the difference between the red and the black graphs, area graphs, that is between total and active cases, continues to increase. This is very positive. The infection rate in India is also now decreased to over 31 days, which is a very positive move indeed. But despite that, when we're seeing all of these moves, we think that the situation has become quite good. But in fact, it's not as great as it may sound in that manner. In fact, we are seeing more and more cases being recorded, and this past week, that is between 3rd and 10th of September, we saw more than 75,000 new cases every single day. In fact, the single largest increase was on 9th of September, with more than 95,500 new cases in one day recorded alone. This was the largest single day increase across the world. That is, we had more number of cases in a day than even the US did. This is a very worrying trend, and it shows that perhaps it could be possible that India becomes very soon the country with the largest number of infections in the world. Of course, while that has to be paid down with the fact that India does have a much larger population, which is also living in a much constricted area, this fact is something that we need to be very considerate about given the fact that the unlock is continuing. But when you look at the number of deaths, we see a different story at the other end. We see that the number of deaths is quite low. In fact, India has a case mortality rate of just 1.68%, which is very low compared to a lot of different countries. That is, we have about 75,000 deaths. So when we look at this number, it seems to be quite a bit, and a lot of it, over 60% of the total deaths are recorded in just 5 states. It makes us seem that a lot of deaths are happening and in very short periods of time. However, recent research has shown that when we compare the deaths and the death rate in India compared with multiple other countries, and we keep the income brackets and the age brackets of infection the same, in fact, it is seeing a much lower number of deaths. One of the reasons why we're seeing the increase in deaths, despite the decrease in case fatality rate, is the fact that we are looking at even comorbidities. And for people who are dying who were not tested positive before the death and they are being tested afterwards, all of them are being counted in the case fatality rate for COVID 19 in India. While this is a very positive move, there is some concern that there is some more number of deaths happening in the country all over, especially in the rural areas, which are not getting recorded. So while we mix up the two things, I think it is important to understand, and I believe that case fatality rate in India is low, and that is because we are seeing less number of deaths as compared to the number of cases. That does not mean that we have less deaths. We have 75,000 deaths, and that is something we need to understand when we look at the different research which is coming out now about death due to COVID 19 in India. A lot of this gets cleared when we look at the other major nationwide trends. For example, in this one week between 3rd and 10th of September, India has recorded more than half a million cases. Despite that, the number of recoveries is reaching 3.5 million. So when we're looking at the total number of cases and we're looking at the active cases and the recoveries, we see a very different rates. While recovery rate is reaching 77%, the active caseload is less at and below 20%. Same way, when we look at the samples, it tells us a very different story of the Indian medical system. That is, as of 10th of September, the samples which have been tested for COVID-19 have crossed 52 million. In fact, 1.1 million of these tests were done in the past 24 hours alone. With these numbers, the test positivity rate in India has increased to 8.4%. While that is quite high, we must remember that the number of tests are also quite high. But what is important to note here is that the number of tests is actually very high. We have had 7.5 million more tests done in the 1 week between 3rd and 10th of September. This is more than half a million more cases than was done last week. But what is important to note is what kind of tests are being done. It is not important to just say that, well, we have a lot of tests, we have 7.5 million more tests, but what is the kind of test and how reliable are these numbers? Well, most number of cases that are being done are now with the RAT test, which is the rapid antigen test. The rapid antigen test was discovered as a way to quickly discover whether a person had COVID-19 antibodies or some kind of infection based on that. The thing is that, well, it started with 5 or 6%. It was considered a low number, but at the same time, a decent enough number to actually understand the way the pills are going. It was always known, and it has always been believed that it is not a very reliable test. However, now the number of RAT tests has now reached to about 20 to 30% of all tests in India, according to recent estimates, which makes all of our test numbers less reliable. Because of this, the Indian government has very recently come out with another new advisory that all of the tests which undergo RAT tests have to compulsorily mandatory retest for asymptomatic negative cases for RT-PCR. That is a polymerase chain reaction test, which is considered the most reliable version to understand the COVID-19 infection and the type of COVID-19 infection in person impact. This becomes extremely important when we understand that a lot of reinfections are taking place all over the world, and a few cases are being reported in India as well. The reinfections are not because of a single type of COVID-19, but that person is now getting a different strain of COVID-19 than before and now becoming susceptible again. This is a very good move and which needs to be followed through. Another case that we're seeing is that despite the decrease in the percentage of active cases in the total caseload of the country, the number of active caseload has steadily increased. That is, we have close to a million active cases in India, and we are seeing an almost 17% increase in active caseload. As you can see from figure 4, the active caseload is steadily increasing. So while the difference between total and active caseload is declining, the number of active cases are increasing. A lot of this due to the fact that we are having many more people being tested positive for COVID-19 every day. And it takes a lot of time for people to recover. But where are these cases happening? And how do we deeply understand how to react? For this, we need to look at the state analysis. When you look at the top 5 states with maximum number of cases, we see Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Uttar Pradesh together contributing to about 60% of all cases in India. But when you look at the top number of fatalities in India, we see that the states are Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Delhi, and Andhra Pradesh. So while there are a lot of commonalities, we see that Delhi has a lot of fatalities, which is not being measured in the number of cases. So Delhi has actually seen a very different jump now. After a significant downward curve, the capital is now once again seeing the highest per day new COVID-19 case count for the past week. The capital has reported a steady upward count of new cases every single day with more than 2,500 new cases. It recorded its highest per day rise ever on 9th of September with over 4,000 new cases recorded that day. With the steady increase in cases, the recovery rate has dipped below 86%. While a lot of these cases which are happening in Delhi are coming from outside of the capital because of the great infrastructure which is available and one of the best infrastructures in the country, the fact is that this number of cases is increasing in Delhi and the infection is very much prevalent. While the capital at the moment is seeing less cases in Pune, it can now be expected that the number of total cases in the capital may soon surpass that of Pune to become the metro city with the largest case count. To put this in perspective, Pune is the only city to have recorded more than 5,000 cases every single day for the past week. The city has in fact recorded 3 days continuously between 3rd and 10th of September with more than 6,000 new cases every day, and the largest case count was recorded on 9th of September with 6,500 plus at COVID-19 cases. Pune also has the lowest recovery rate amongst all the major metro cities in India with just 67% recoveries. So while the number of cases per day will always stay more for Pune for at least the next week as compared to Delhi, the total case load in Delhi is expected to become higher than that of Pune, given its previous case load as well. But when we look at what are the cities which are doing well, we see that Chennai has suddenly come up. Once touted as one of the worst performing cities, it has now the highest recovery rate among all the metro cities in India, which is about 95% recovery rate. It's also now seeing a decline in new cases recorded every single day, less than 1,000 cases recorded each day between 3rd and 10th of September. But apart from the metro cities, when you look at the other states, certain states are a bit problematic, and I would say we need to keep a better eye on these few states. So Odisha, Kerala, Haryana, Punjab, and Chhattisgarh, which has seen a recent spike in new per day new cases. The bad part is that not all of these states have very good infrastructure which can deal with an overload of COVID-19 cases while also managing other diseases which are continuing, such as cancer, heart diseases, and other diseases which happen. In fact, Odisha's capital Bhubaneswar has now recently turned into COVID-19 hotspot and has been adding around 400 cases daily. Punjab has also on 9th of September recorded its highest single day spike of 2,000 plus COVID-19 cases, after which the state's infection tally reached nearly 70,000. The maximum number of cases in Punjab is coming from Mohali, which does not have as great infrastructures compared to its nearest city, which is Chandigarh. But we need to understand that Punjab is also seeing a slight increase, which is not which it is not able to manage as well as some of its neighboring states. So as we move along and unlock for move is pushing us forward, it is important that we become very cognizant of the fact that even if we have recovered from COVID-19, it is possible that another strain may now infect us. This is the time for us to really become even more cognizant of the fact that we need to take more precautions and wear face masks, use hand sanitizers, and maintain social distancing at all points of time. As you move along, please reach back to Midcat to know how we can be of help to you and your business when you're starting off again. Until next week, take care and goodbye.